friends. Welcome back to Bound by Love, and thank you for being here. If this is your first episode, I give you a big welcome and invite you to take a deep breath and stay. Here we are on episode 4, and much to my surprise, I'm going off script today. I had one thing planned and loaded up to record, but as I sat down this morning with my Bible and journal and cup of coffee to take some time to just sit and enjoy the presence of God, there I began to thank Him and to worship Him for His goodness. I thanked Him for the change of seasons as today a strong, windy, cool front is blowing in, not coincidentally marking the change of seasons. I thanked Him for making me His daughter this morning and for being a father who is a friend. I sat there quietly, just enjoying being with Him, feeling my heartbeat actually begin to sync with His as I just sat there resting. As I told you, there was a long stretch in my life where I was too busy, too stressed to just sit and enjoy moments like this, which makes me all the more thankful for the relationship He and I now share. But here is where my script for today began to change. I started to thank Him for you. I also began to pray for you. If you're watching this, you're becoming a friend to me, like one who sat in my living room as we shared our hearts and our lives together. Being able to speak into your life is a privilege which I do not take lightly. I carry you in my heart like a treasure and lift you up to the Lord, confident in the reality that He knows you and understands you completely. As I prayed for you this morning, I felt joy, the kind of joy that comes from being welcomed in, but I also felt a deep desire for God to give me something that I could give you today. Something from the one who knows us all and calls us each by name. I wanted to give you something from Him, something you could carry into your week. So I asked, Lord, what do you want to give them? In my spirit, I heard with crystal clarity the words, permission to slow down. I responded out loud with these words, okay, well, I guess we're going off script today. And can I tell you this? There's actually an excitement in me to get to be the one to deliver this good news to you. The demands and the hurry and the overload that are present in our world today far outweigh what they were in my life 20 or 30 years ago. So I can only imagine the challenge that it is for so many today. Life for me seemed busy and weighty in those years, and much of that came from internal pressures I placed on myself. A lot of my going that was mostly generated by me trying to prove myself to myself, or prove myself to this faceless person that wasn't even a person, who followed me around telling me that I needed to prove my worth as a person by getting it all done and done the right way. In those days, I used to tell my husband that it was like this Goodyear blimp that followed me, looking over my shoulder all the time to make sure I got it right. You see, I was chasing after the wrong thing by trying to do things right. Well, all along, the proof of my worth was living in me. Jesus, through His shed blood, placed His righteousness in me, canceling the debt of my sin with a stamp that reads, forgiven, reconciled to the Father. And He came to live in me to teach me what it looked like to be a child of a king. His resurrected life in me is all the proof I need. He got everything right. He lived the perfect life and then gave His own to make me his very own. He canceled all the things that kept me on life's treadmill. I was being invited to come and get to know him through his love for me. I would soon discover that he wanted to be the one to show me how to live this new life that he died to give me. He was inviting me to slow down and let him. One day, I imagined him taking a very long, sharp hat pin, and reaching up to pop the invisible blimp that had followed me around. That thing, can I just tell you, it was full of hot air. Just like that, it was gone. It wasn't a figment of my imagination. It was a very real mindset, which withheld my permission to slow down. Jesus showed me the truth. What was the truth? The truth was I had permission to slow down. I was being invited to come sit at the feet of Jesus and learn from him the truth about who I was. The Father was giving me permission to slow down and let the truth about his love for me settle the issue of who I am as a daughter of God, a friend of Jesus, one who has the Holy Spirit living inside her. The Holy Spirit, the one committed to leading me into all truth and committed to pouring the love of God into my being to fill me. I tell you that it was in this that I began to learn to live my life from this place. Has it been a process? Yes. Has it taken time? Yes, lots of time. From here, I've learned that God's not in a hurry. In this place, I learned to enjoy the process of learning and growing. In this place, I learned to recognize his voice, to be still and listen. Here I learned to just enjoy sitting with him, enjoying his presence. Have I done it perfectly? Certainly not. But I have learned that he's not after perfection. He just wants to reveal to me his heart. If you can identify with today's testimony, can I challenge you to take your heart to him this week and ask him what slowing down looks like for you? Ask him to help you slow down if it feels like your life is just too full to know where to begin slowing down. Today was more about a testimony of overcoming. And though my heart and my words were guided by scriptures and promises from his word, it was about testimony. You'll find those listed in the description below. But today was a peek into the life of someone who needed permission to slow down. God knew I had a testimony of the very thing he spoke to my heart for you this morning. Please know that I am praying for each of you this week. I invite you back next week, and I thank you so much for listening.